right, man, let's talk about Za'Darius Smith. All right. So the Lions may not keep him. I think he has $11 million salary. So everybody talking about they can't wait to see Hutchins and Za'Darius Smith next year. That may not happen. The word is that he's not a lock to be back in Detroit. To me, obviously, if you let him walk, you better have a plan to bring in an impact player. Obviously I don't think Davenport should be an option to come back. I don't care. He's always injured. Davenport shouldn't be, option to come back. So, to me, $11 million ain't that much. If you want to restructure it or redo a deal and knock that cap number down, you know what I'm saying? Then, I understand at that point. But in my humble opinion, if you feel like you can do better, then, at the end of the day, you got to be able to do better. But you can't let them go until you know you got a plan that you can execute. They ain't in no position to lose no pass rush, because you got to remember, Hutch probably wanted to knock some rust off the leg injury. Liam McNeil, who knows how heavy he is coming off that ACL injury. Like, you may not see Liam McNeil return to form or semi-form till not this coming season, till next season, the season after next. So they got a lot of decisions to be made. And a lot of people say, oh man, we shouldn't bring back Onwuzurike. I mean, think about it. You invested in 3 years in Onwuzurike, and he finally has a healthy year. Why invest those 3 years and he get healthy, and that really was like his rookie season, and you gonna cut him? That makes no sense. That makes no sense. He finally got healthy. You invested that time, you're keeping him. You know what I'm saying? You're keeping him. I have no issue with him being the second starting defensive tackle or the third when Liam McNeil come back. That's not an issue. But Lions fans don't know what they're talking about when they talking about cutting, letting leave Onwuzurike. Then why did you invest the time in him? Why would you invest that time in him then? Think about that for a moment. Why would you invest the time in Onwuzurike? Why would you invest it if you wasn't going to keep him? So, yeah, you keeping him. So, like I said before, you better have a plan to bring somebody else in. I feel like, they should keep him. At least bare minimum, you're going to have Hutch and Za'Darius Smith. Bare minimum, you know that. Whatever you add in addition to that, you can cut them whenever you find something else if you feel that way. But if you can roll into next year with Aiden Hutchinson, Joshua Scales, Za'Darius Smith, and let's say you bring in another guy, I don't know, a younger guy, the Sawyer from Ohio State. I don't know much about him. Or another edge rusher, the guy from Ole Miss, or you find a edge rusher on the market. I mean, after all the injuries you had this year, can you afford to cut pass rushers? No. Two of your main pass rushers coming off injuries next year, and Aiden Hutchinson and Liam McNeil. So you need all the depth you can get. So I don't think they're in the business of cutting people. You should be in the business of adding people. Kaminsky, he's nice, but hey, I can move on from that. But Aiden Hutchinson, Joshua Scale, Joshua Scale, Onwuzurike can play some in, Za'Darius Smith, and if I could bring in, somebody, like a Sawyer or the kid from Ole Miss, I don't know these guys, I'm just looking at mock drafts, then I'm bringing those guys in, to go with what I already got. Because then you got to figure out they probably need another defensive tackle. Honestly, you need somebody that's probably a penetrator that can just get it up the field. And people talking about their run defense wasn't even bad as you thought it was when you got rid of Liam McNeil. They were stopping the run. They wasn't getting after the passer still. That was the problem. The run defense wasn't bad. So yeah, I keep Za'Darius Smith until I for sure find something that I'm concrete moving on to. That's common sense. Yeah, I'm keeping him unless I know I have something. You move him and then Like, you lost too many pieces this year. You can't afford to lose nobody that's valuable. And you put them out there with Pascal, Eileen McNeil, Reader, Enrique, and you know, then you got a really good defensive line. You bring a young bull in there, he get to learn from those dudes. Yeah. Soup that pass rush. When the Lions pass rush is good throughout the years, they was able to have guys in waves. They was able to have guys in waves. It's not about the first four. It's about, and to be honest, this year they had a wave of guys, despite the injuries. Think about that for a minute. They had a wave of guys. You know, you lost Hutch, you lost Aleem McNeil, but then you still got 2 star defensive tackles in Reader and Enrique. You know, Pascal at the end. Za'Darius Smith, that still was a formidable defensive line. Even with Aiden Hutchinson the previous season, they have problems generating pressure. They have problems generating pressure. You know, they have problems generating pressure. So yeah, when you got a good defensive line, it's waves of them that come in. So them thinking small mind, they investment. If you're gonna invest a bunch of money somewhere, you want to invest in a defensive line. That's been your Achilles heel. You can win a championship with some bum ass corners. The Lions almost fucking did it a couple seasons ago. The Eagles did it. They was playing with corners off the street when they beat the New England Patriots. If that front seven can go get it, bro, that's what you need. And it's a lot of talk about their linebackers. I'm not concerned. It wasn't a concern when Alexander Zoney, Rodrigo Barnes, and Jack Campbell was healthy. That wasn't a concern. It only became a concern when they got exposed versus Buffalo, which all them dudes was injured, not named Jack Campbell. That's when it became a concern. After an injury. After the injury. It wasn't a concern before that. They linebackers did an excellent job covering, playing their scheme. So I don't understand the whole thing. They need to get a linebacker. They bring back Derek Barnes, Rodrigo, Campbell, Arizona. Man, that's 4. No, I don't think too many people in the league can say they got 4 good linebackers. That's 4 good linebackers that they have. How many other teams can say we got 4 good linebackers? None. The problem is they need to be able to have somebody who can generate a rush on the inside and the outside. And I said they come to the season, they really miss an inside rush. Everybody talk about another defensive end that can pressure the quarterback. They need somebody on the inside that can collapse the pocket from the inside. Hutchinson don't need another end. He, don't get me wrong. They need another. They need a guy that specializes at getting the quarterback from the inside of the defense. That's what they need. White people is crazy. It's cold as hell. He got a shirt and t-shirts on. Sorry, y'all. Sorry to my white viewers, man. I have questions. But on a serious note, they need somebody, and I think Enrique another year, that pretty much was his rookie year. Another year, I think he can be that guy. But for them, I'm going out there. My number one thing for the Lions is to find a defensive tackle that can get up the middle of the field and collapse and penetrate the middle of the field. He ain't got to be a full-time starter. He can be a situational pass rusher up the middle, and we can get them together, stopping the run eventually. We need somebody like Warren Sapp, John Randall, on a lesser scale, Kalinci Kancey down there, and the Bucks. Oh, let's talk about Jalen Carter. Why they ain't Stafford in the fucking NFC Championship? Because Jalen Carter got a big sack. That's what we need. We need a disruptor. We need a disruptor. If they can find a disruptor, that'd be fine. You can bring everybody else back. You know, Smith, Hutch, Pascal, Kaminsky. They need a disruptor in the middle of that defense. And y'all think the edge pressure is the most important pressure. The real most important pressure is in the middle. In the middle of that defense, and that quarterback face. But hey, check out the Detroit Lions Style playlist. Hit the link tree. Find me on X, Instagram, Spotify, Cash App, Venmo, PayPal. All inside the link tree. Only link in the description. Peace.